I don't really know what that achieves. I mean, it of course would be a big story, but this tournament would go ahead, and the fact is, unfortunately, the biggest issue probably that is non-religious and non-cultural is what happened with the buildings of the stadiums, and there's nothing we can do about that either, sadly. The discussions the FA have had with organisations like Amnesty International is that they feel that there would be more change if we go and these things are highlighted. So, I think that is also guiding some of the thinking on that. We're in such a complex world of deals, as we've seen with Saudi Arabia recently. On the one hand, people are saying about the investment in Newcastle, on the other we're going and asking them to reduce the oil prices so that we can get our petrol cheaper. So I think we're all observing these things, and we're all in a state of, well, this is really difficult and entwined. That's why I said before Christmas, this is complicated. Whichever team we put out, we get a consistent level from the players, and that's huge credit to them. So when you lose players, it's something that we sit and mope around. It's just, okay, what's the best solution, and how do we adjust to the changes that we've got to make?
Gary, I think it's really noticeable in the build-up, especially to this game this week with the World Cup build-up starting, how much time managers and players are having to spend talking about things outside of football, even with Eddie Howe a few weeks ago in Saudi Arabia, Harry Kane's been talking about it, and Southgate, of course, as well. Is that just a reality for people in football now, that they're going to have to be confronted and be asked about these questions, whether they like it or not?
Yeah, I think it is. I think they've got a platform now, and whatever they say will carry weight. I think the response of England's been underwhelming in terms of that, because compare that to other international teams, Denmark, Holland, they've been quite vocal in terms of what they've been doing. The English team said that they would sit down and discuss when they got together, and Harry Kane coming out as a captain, and obviously Gareth Southgate talking there. I don't think they said too much. I understand what he's saying there, Gareth Southgate, in terms of a boycott of the competition and what would that achieve, but I think a lot needs to be said, because they are players now that have such a voice. And you think about hot topical political conversations, they've been at the forefront of it in terms of Black Lives Matter. I think they need to speak more about this.
You can understand their point of view, Damien, and you could see in Eddie Howe when he was asked a few weeks ago about it, you can see in his eyes, like, please move on, I don't want to talk about this, and yet the questions keep on coming. Are they entitled to feel uncomfortable, or is it just, does it come with the ticket that you have to be able to deal with these things?
It comes with it, it absolutely does. But I think we need to be careful about how much expectation we put on them. They can pay lip service to it and condemn it and do all that. But I think that's all they can do. Football managers are not politicians. They're not in positions of power to alter the situation. Other people are. But they can give their thoughts on it. I think Gareth is right. We can give a personal view that what's going on in the world right now, a lot of issues that people aren't happy with, but what would not going to a World Cup achieve? We need to get to the root of the problem, and the root of the problem is, how did they get the World Cup in the first place? That's the process that needs to alter.